General of police talk say if they abuse any political officials, may they jail the person. Only Dafun Tinubu, yes, Tinubu na the one president wey dey na the current president. E no go better for all Tinubu ni balẹ̀ to ba. Yes, next person. Sanwo-Olu na the Lagos state governor. Oloju dudu kò ní Dafun kò ní balẹ̀ to ba wa. Next, who is the next person? Now tell me the most powerful politician wey go abuse when I go arrest me fast. Ọkàn yóò ní balẹ̀ ní kúre. They dey spoil country na no see anything to do there na they do church or they claim police. Ọkàn yóò ní balẹ̀ ẹni kúre. E no go better for all the politicians wey put Nigeria for this situation wey dey. Ọkàn gbọ́n yóò ní balẹ̀. Ẹ máa ṣòfò dànù ni. Wetin be all this nonsense wey all these police dey talk like say if they abuse ẹni kúre.
All right, welcome to another deep dive.
Yeah.
Today, things are going to be a little different. We're going virtual, heading over to Nigeria, where, things are really heating up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, seriously. There's this whole debate, like a big one, about free speech, especially on social media.
Social media.
And we've got this news segment script, like a proposed one, and it just dives right into, like, recent events. It's got everyone talking,
Okay.
and it might seem like it's just a Nigeria thing.
Right.
But it really makes you think about, all of us who are on social media, how much can we say, really, before, like, crossing the line?
And who decides where that line even is?
Exactly. And the news segment, oh, man, it starts with this amazing montage of Lagos. It's all, like, bustling markets, people talking, everyone glued to their phones.
We're like, social media is everywhere.
Oh, yeah. It's, like, woven into everyday life there. Not just for, like, chatting with friends, but for news, politics, even community stuff.
I see. So it's really key to understanding why these arrests are causing such a stir.
Yeah, big time. Because when so much happens online, any government action there, well, it's huge.
It takes on a whole new meaning.
Right. Okay, so let's get to the point. The script talks about the Nigerian police, all under the Cybercrimes Act of 2015.
Okay, so what, like hacking and stuff?
Well, no. These are for people criticizing, like actually criticizing government officials online.
Whoa, seriously?
And the police are saying it's all defamation or harassment.
Huh. That's tricky. Where's the line between, like, fair criticism and actually harmful speech?
Exactly right. And the police spokesperson, they're in the script too, and they're arguing that this law, it's there to stop harassment and, like, keep things civil.
So basically free speech doesn't mean you can just, like, insult anyone.
Yeah, but doesn't that mean, like, any criticism of the government could be silenced?
Yeah, how can we know they're not just using this law to shut down anyone who disagrees?
That's what so many people are worried about. And the news segment even has this one person who was actually arrested.
Arrested? For what?
For criticizing a government policy online.
No way.
Yeah, and they were held for 3 days, even though they said they weren't trying to insult anyone.
3 days? Jeez. So, like, what one person sees as just criticism?
Someone else might say it's like a personal attack.
It's also subjective. Makes you think about self-censorship, right? Like, what if people are too scared to speak up at all?
That's what I'm saying. And this news segment, it even mentions that online defamation cases have gone up since this act started in 2015.
So there's a pattern. Makes you wonder about the real goal of this act,
Totally. And there's this one case, it really blew up online. This guy, let's call him Person X.
Okay, Person X.
He was arrested for a tweet the authorities called defamatory. And it just, like, exploded online. Everyone was debating free speech and if the government was overreaching.
Yeah, I can see why. It shows how vague that Cybercrimes Act is, right? Like, what's defamation? What's harassment?
No one knows for sure.
And like we see in this case, that lack of clarity, well, it has real consequences.
It's not just what the law says, it's how it's used,
Right, and it seems like it could easily be used against, well, anyone who criticizes the government.
And the script even has legal experts saying this broad language could be used to silence critics. They say it's all about maintaining order, but...
But it's really just control.
Right. And then there are these interviews with everyday Nigerians, and it's clear people are divided. Some are like, politicians need to handle criticism. They say these arrests are killing dissent.
Well, yeah, freedom of speech is, like, the foundation of a democracy.
And the other side says free speech has limits. You can't just say anything without consequences.
So it's a clash of values, really.
Yeah, the script captures it so well. One person said, can't handle criticism, don't be in politics. And someone else countered with, freedom of speech doesn't mean saying whatever you want.
It's deep, man.
And it's not just talk. The news segment shows these peaceful protests happening in Lagos. People want free speech, but they also want protection from online censorship.
Yeah, it's hitting a nerve for sure.
It's such a complicated issue, right? Free expression on one side, protecting people on the other.
Like walking a tightrope. Yeah, it's almost like social media is this huge town square, you know?
And everyone's got a megaphone.
Exactly. Amazing for voices, connecting people, but then, well, there's the whole boundaries thing.
And responsibility, right?
Yeah.
Makes you think twice about your own online stuff, doesn't it?
For sure.
Like if this can happen in Nigeria, could it happen anywhere?
That's the question, isn't it? And the news segment actually, it points to the study, a worrying trend, they call it.
Oh.
Way more countries are using those cybercrime laws, you know?
But for like actual cybercrime.
Not really. They use them to restrict free speech, target anyone who criticizes them.
Seriously.
Oh, yeah. They say it's for national security, stopping fake news, but...
But it's really about silencing people.
Exactly. It's scary, isn't it? Like, our freedoms are just...
Slipping away.
Yeah, and it's not always like arrests or prisons. Sometimes it's just creating this atmosphere of fear.
So people censor themselves.
Right, because they're scared of what might happen.
So even if you're not the target, these laws still affect everyone.
Big time. That's why we got to be aware, got to speak up against this stuff.
Hold our own governments accountable.
Exactly. Make sure these laws, if they exist, they're clear, they're fair, and they're really about preventing harm, not,
Not just silencing dissent.
Right.
What about the social media companies themselves? They've got a lot of power, don't they?
Oh, tons. The news segment touches on that too, actually. It's this whole debate, right, about their responsibility.
To moderate content, you mean?
Yeah, like should they be doing more to take down hate speech, misinformation, that kind of thing?
But then wouldn't that give them too much control? Who decides what's harmful?
That's the other side of it, yeah. Can't just hand over the keys to a few big companies.
So we need to make sure they're transparent, accountable.
And that they actually care about free expression.
So we're stuck between, like, governments overreaching with laws.
And tech companies with too much power over what we see and say online.
It's a tough spot. What can we even do?
Well, it's not hopeless, for sure. First thing, we got to be informed, right?
Okay, so educate ourselves.
Yeah. Know the laws in your own country, the policies of the platforms you use. The more you know, the better you can spot those threats.
And hold people accountable.
Exactly. And then use your voice. Speak up. Support those organizations fighting for digital rights.
Be an active part of this, not just
sitting on the sideline.
Right. And don't forget about our everyday choices, right? Like the companies we support.
Oh, absolutely. Pay attention to that. Do they actually respect free speech?
Yeah.
User privacy? Are they open about how they moderate content?
So put our money where our mouth is.
Exactly. And then there's the media literacy side of things. We're just bombarded with info these days.
From everywhere. It's hard to know what to believe.
So we got to get good at critical thinking, spotting misinformation, knowing our own biases.
Be our own fact checkers.
Kinda, yeah. Be smart about the information we consume. Question things. Look for evidence. Consider different views.
And remember that whole thing about respect and open dialogue.
Oh, that's key. Gotta be willing to listen to people we disagree with. Have those tough conversations, challenge ideas, not the person.
Create spaces where everyone feels safe to speak their mind. Even if
it's not a popular opinion. Disagreement doesn't have to be a bad thing, It can help us grow, help us understand each other better.
This whole deep dive, it's been a journey, seriously. From those streets in Lagos, something that felt so far away.
To something that affects all of us.
Yeah, the very idea of free speech in this digital world.
And it needs to continue. This is just the beginning. Think about what we've talked about. Keep asking questions. Find your own way to fight for this.
Because it's up to all of us. It's crazy, right? And we've just scratched the surface here, and it's a lot to take in. Kind of unsettling, honestly.
Yeah, no doubt.
But it feels like we've got like some actual steps we can take to make things better.
Absolutely. It's easy to feel overwhelmed, right? It's such a big global problem. But like they say, every journey.
One step at a time.
Exactly. And step one is, well, knowing what's going on. Once you see the problem, then you can start thinking about solutions.
So we talked about being informed, using our voices, supporting those organizations, anything else we can do like day to day.
Tons. One that people forget is, well, education. Just talking about it.
Like with friends, family.
Yeah. Share articles, documentaries, even this deep dive, right? The more people understand what's at stake, the louder our voice becomes.
Right, like silence is not an option here.
Nope. And then there's our choices, as consumers.
Right.
the companies we support? Do they actually walk the walk when it comes to free speech, privacy? Are they upfront about their policies?
They support the good guys.
Exactly. And then there's the whole like media literacy thing. There's so much info out there, it's hard to know what's real.
Information overload.
So, got to sharpen those critical thinking skills, learn to spot fake news, and and know our own biases.
We got to be our own, like, BS detectors.
Yeah, pretty much. Don't just accept everything you see. Question sources, look for proof, and be open to different views.
It all comes back to that respect thing, doesn't it? And having real conversations.
Oh, for sure. Listen to those who disagree, debate in good faith, challenge the ideas, not the person.
Make it safe for everyone to speak their mind, even if
It's something we don't like to hear.
it's not about shutting down the conversation. It's about making it better.
Exactly. Disagreement can be a good thing. It can help us all learn and grow.
Wow, this deep dive, it's been quite a ride. We started in Lagos, something that felt like a world away.
And ended up talking about like the core of free speech online.
It's something we all need to be thinking about no matter where we are, what we believe.
Absolutely. And it's got to continue. This is just the start, you know? Keep thinking about this. Keep asking questions. Find your own way to contribute. The future of free speech online, it depends on all of us.
Well said. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, everyone. Hope it gave you some things to think about, maybe even inspired you to take action. Until next time, keep learning, keep questioning, and keep those conversations going.